Exodus chapter 10, another chapter where we see this back and forth between Pharaoh and essentially God, but Moses and Aaron on behalf of the Israelites coming to Pharaoh saying, hey, God, the God of Israel says, let my people go. Pharaoh saying, no, God sending a plague. Pharaoh begging, please ask your God to take this plague away. I'll go let you worship your God. God takes the plague away. Pharaoh's like, just kidding. We see this over and over and over. And so in chapter 10, we see more plagues. In fact, there's, I think, 3 more plagues that present themselves in chapter 10, but early on in the chapter, and we've seen this already, but it's just a good reminder for us today. In chapter 10, verse 1, it says, then the Lord said to Moses, return to Pharaoh and make your demands again. I have made him and his officials stubborn so that I can display my miraculous signs among them. And once again, we see this moment where God is basically saying like, hey, I'm actually the one who's orchestrating this and working it all for the way that it's going to pan out, and specifically so that God can display his miraculous signs and wonders. And in my own life, man, there are these seasons, these moments where I'm like, what is going on? It feels out of control. It feels uncomfortable. It's very unseen, unknown, like confusing. And I'm not saying that God is like a puppet master that's orchestrating every single thing, but so often things that do happen in our life, God wants us to recognize that even in the midst of those things, he is at work. He is displaying his character, his goodness, his miraculous signs and wonders. And sometimes it is up to us to stop long enough, not to focus on the thing, but to focus on God. Like not to get zoomed in and get hung up on what's happening right here in this moment, but to recognize that there is something bigger at play and something bigger at work. And that can feel discouraging and overwhelming at times. But what does it look like for you and for me to zoom out, take a breath, do something to make today count, to recognize, man, today is not just about today. It's not just about this moment, but God is bigger than, outside of, and over everything that's happening anyway. So what does it look like for me to make today count towards something much bigger, much larger, and to recognize God is at work even when I don't see it? See you next time.